Hey everybody, Mort here with SupprWear. I want to take a quick second to talk about the construction of my suppressor covers before we get into testing. So we'll start on the inside. We've got the inner heat abating layer. That's a ceramic weave. And on the outside we've got 1000 denier Cordura. In between these two layers is actually a second heat abating layer that's designed to help the transition of heat from what touches your suppressor to what you grab with your hand. Along the edges, on all the models, I use a high temp thread. Now on this model you can't really tell the difference because this thread is the same as the nylon thread that I use for the webbing, but this thread is going to be tan on your black, OD green, Ranger green, etc. models. It's going to be tan on those, and on this one it kind of just blends in. So that high temp thread is rated for pretty extreme temperatures. However, it's not going to survive mag dump after mag dump on full auto or any other extreme use situation where you're putting it through the ringer. But then again, there's no product on the market that's going to stand up to that for very long, at least not that I'm aware of. On the outside, we've got two layers of webbing. So we've got one on the back with these slots in the stitching. That's to help keep the laces nice and neat. And then on the top, we've got the standard 1-inch separation of all the lacing. So it's shock cord, nylon shock cord for the lacing, and then just a standard cord plug or cord clip to hold it all together. Looking down inside there, you may see some bunching. That is intentional. That is to help give it a nice 360 coverage around your suppressor so that none of the heat is transferring onto the Cordura layer. I've taken some advice from some of the forum members on how to make improvements to this. One thing that I did over the prototype was extending the heat abating layer to cover up this area right here where we tend to get some bunching that can cause heat to transfer through to the Cordura layer, and that's definitely not something we want to happen. I've also beefed up on some of the prototypes. I used a Kevlar thread. This is not Kevlar. This is a fiberglass PTFE kind type of thread that's much more durable, rated for much higher temperatures. There's even more extreme products out there that are rated for some even more extreme temperatures. However, they're very hard to get. I'm trying, and we'll see if I get my hands on some of that. But this stuff stands up pretty well. I've tested it with my rope cutter, which gets up to about 700 degrees, and it didn't cut at all. One thing that I do want to point out, so you may experience some fraying like I've got going on here. I'll just go back and clip that off with some scissors. You can do the same. It's not going to affect your performance at all. This is just the material that is beyond where the thread binds the three layers together will have a tendency to come out. Again, your suppressor cover is not falling apart. Just go ahead and clip that off if this does happen to you, and it probably will. Taking these on and off of your suppressor is going to wear down the heat abating layer. So don't be taking it on and off all the time is what I would recommend. Then, if you want it to last. That said, it's pretty durable. It's not going to fall apart after taking it off a couple times. But if you're taking it off every 5 minutes to check it out, you're going to wear through it. So that covers the construction. Let's go ahead and get out there and test this thing and see how it does. All right, we're out here at the range. Gonna go ahead and do a few mag dumps on this. See how the suppressor cover performs. We're gonna start with a mag dump without the suppressor cover. Get a reading on this here. 36.7 degrees Fahrenheit. So we'll do one without the cover, let it cool down, and then we'll do a couple with. I want to see how the temp gets without the cover. Yeah, let's go ahead and get at it.
pickets anywhere on the bottom, you're going to put a bipod on it. Okay, whatever you do. This lane right here is open.
I'm just watching, see what you got.
So this is saying 250. I got it reading at 400 when I first checked it. So that's 130 round magazine right there. Kind of intermittent fire, but pretty quick mag dump. We'll come back and we'll see how it does with the cover on. All right, so about 70 degrees. 85. It's about 85 degrees right now. 83.3. We'll go ahead, throw the cover on there, run a mag through it, see how the cover's holding up, and then maybe run another one. All right, so we got a little bit of walk on the cover, but the cover's reading at 51, 52. Blast chamber's reading at 260. I'd say it's probably closer to 300 right now. Let's go ahead, we'll pull that suppressor back, we'll do another mag. So the cover's at 137. It's warm to the touch, but it's not burning me. Now, I should say, for legal purposes, I do not recommend, nor do I condone touching your suppressor cover while it's on a hot suppressor. That said, I can't stop you from doing it. All right, so we'll go ahead and take it off, take a look at the inside. All right, so I'm here behind my truck off the firing line. I want to take a quick look at the inside here. So you can see there's some mild singeing on the interior material. This is a ceramic weave, like I said before. It's designed for welding blankets and fire curtains. I mean, this isn't burnt. It's mildly singed. But it held up really well. There's no damage to any of the outer threads here. It's holding to the Cordura layer really well. You know, that smoke that we saw after taking a look on the inside, it was the coating that they put on this material to help run it through a machine, helps give it a little bit of slickness.
but it didn't affect the performance at all. And the Cordura layer held up really well. As you can look along the edges, there's no melting, no burning, no frays, no split thread or anything like that. Like, all of this is still really intact. And actually, the one piece that I was kind of worried about is the shock cord. It held up perfectly. I mean, it's one solid line still. No indications of any melting or burning on it at all. Looking at the actual suppressor itself, you can see there's some mild discoloration or patterning from the inner material of the cover. I'm not worried about this because, frankly, I don't think guns and suppressors are supposed to look pretty. But I've also got some rubber that melted on there from a previous range day. But you know, some mild discoloring. It probably come off if I just scrubbed it, but no damage at all. And this is probably the result of that coating on the ceramic layer, you know, burning away. But again, it's not going to affect your performance. This cover held up really well, and it did its job.